Hello?
Yep, it's on.
Awesome.
But
Okay, Matt.
I don't have a name tag though.
Oh, name tag. Hang on. Can't start.
Purple looks good. No, I'm not. Grimace? From what? From what? Oh,
Matt, believe it or not, we had to make one for you.
that's okay. They'll figure it out.
There you go. Special delivery. These
look
are
at that.
new name tags.
Catch you in the middle of the mid-morning snack.
Okay, good morning, Daytona.
Good morning.
Good to see everybody here, and what better way to lead off our Thursday sessions here in the Media Center is the affable Matt Kenseth, the driver of the number 20 Dollar General Toyota for Joe Gibbs Racing. And Matt, it's good to see you. I saw you briefly the other day at Media Day, but nothing expanded. But anyhow, maybe talk a little bit about Daytona. You won this race. Talk about, obviously, you're coming off, a season that was just extremely solid coming out of the gate with the new race team. Let's talk about your mindset here, how your car is, what it would mean to win the Daytona 500 again and those types of things.
Yeah, I mean, the season last year ended better than our week started down here, so it hasn't been a particularly good start to the week for us in the 20s. So looking forward to getting in the race tonight. Hopefully we found some more speed in our car from where it was yesterday. We can learn some things tonight, hopefully to apply to Sunday, get a decent finish and get a good spot to start. So that's kind of what we're looking at today. Looking forward to getting back in the nationwide car today with the kind of rules changed up a little bit and kind of a different team over there. So I'm looking forward to getting rolling on that here this morning as well.
Take questions from Matt. Let's start back in the back. Mark Long, Bob, and Lewis, and then we'll work our way up.
Mark Long with AP. Matt, after yesterday's incident, did you go back, look at that any more than the quick look you had yesterday? And have you talked to Joey about maybe what went down?
I looked. I mean, I saw all the replays. When I was up in the trailer. Obviously, the wreck was behind me. I have not talked to Joey. I mean, it was just. For some reason this week it seems like everybody gets big runs through tri-oval, and I was really just trying to stay straight and wait until we get the next line cleared. So I was actually going to try to find my way back to the pits. So anyway, yeah, when he got close, I just moved my car to the left a little bit, but then he just kind of couldn't get off me. It looked like he was getting hit from behind from the 21, and he just clipped me in the right rear, and then he got clipped at the same time. So just not a lot of extra space out there.
We'll go to Bob Pockris, Lewis Frank, and Claire B. Lang.
Bob Hocker, Sporting News. After the Unlimited and practice yesterday, I mean, is there apprehension for tonight? And if you get through tonight unscathed, do you just do maybe one lap or two Friday and Saturday before the 500?
Yeah, I mean, the second practice, I mean, I don't know if there's a lot of apprehension from me, but there probably is everyone else. Everyone else is probably trying to stay away from the 20 and 22. Whenever they see those cars together, they're bailing out in practice. But no, I mean, tonight the strategy for me is really no different. I mean, you want to go there and you want to learn everything that you can possibly learn. You want to try to get in some different situations, try to bank all that for Sunday so you can kind of make the right moves, hopefully, and Sunday be in the right place, try to get as much feedback as you can about the car and maybe what you need and what you don't need for those final couple practices before the 500. So really no apprehension. I mean, obviously when a week goes like that, you're obviously you think about it a little bit and you try to figure out how to stay away from problems.
Lewis Frank, Claire B. Lang, and Tom Jensen.
Thank you. Louis Frank of Reuters. To follow up a little further, any concerns about Sunday, or are people just more comfortable with the new Gen 6 car and be a little more daring?
No, I mean, I think whenever any of us come to plate races, there's a certain degree of apprehension or worry or whatever, thinking about being in a wreck. Your chances are greater whenever you come to Daytona and Talladega than most other racetracks, because there's just so many things that are out of your control, and the racing, style is is a lot different. So, I don't know. You really can't predict what's going to happen going forward. I mean, I've seen a lot of times where we've come down here and the shootout's been crazy, and maybe the 150s or whatever, and then by the 500 it's kind of not so much. So, I think you have to pretty much look at every incident separately, to kind of see what happens.
Claire B. Lang, Tom Jensen, Dwight Drum.
Claire B. Lang, Sirius XM NASCAR Radio. At the Care Center, Parker Kligerman said he thought that Joey was being aggressive too fast or in practice when you weren't racing that night, and that he thought Paul Menard and he talked, they said the same thing. But kind of a question like, what would be too aggressive in a practice session? Is close side drafting that good? Everybody was pretty close. In your mind, what would be too aggressive in practice?
Well, whenever there's a wreck, you're going to, you don't want to wreck in practice. So I think they're probably looking back, talking about that. Like I said, every wreck's a little different. Paul and the 5 were just kind of merging, and we had a 2-wide pack, and obviously you have to go 3-wide when you catch slower cars. You can't really slow up for the line and just pile in behind it, because you'll get crashed. So we're just going around that, and we're just kind of waiting, honestly, to clear those guys. So, I got kind of slow with Paul on my left rear, and that just brought Joey's car in really fast through the tri-oval, and the 21 was right on Joey. I think we were going to be okay if the 21 went to hit Joey, because even though Joey hit me a little bit, he was kind of being pushed into that hole. And, I got it straightened out, and it looked like Joey was going to get straightened out, and then the 21 ran over him. So I think it was just kind of a little bit of accordion effect, where there wasn't a lot of space in between cars there. There wasn't a lot of room for error.
Tom Jensen, Dwight Drum, and then Dustin Long.
Hi, Matt. Tom Jensen, FoxSports.com. You won this race twice. You almost won last year. How important is it to get a Toyota in victory lane in this race, since they haven't won yet? And how much extra emphasis within the Gibbs camp is being put on this, especially with you guys running as well as you did so far?
Yeah, I'd say it's important. I'm sure the people from Toyota could probably answer a question better than me, but I would assume it's important to win a Daytona 500 and important to win a championship. Those are two things they haven't done yet since they've been in the sport. So obviously that's always our focus. I don't think we put any more or less effort into the Daytona 500 than we did last year. It's always a focus. It's always something you're working on. It's the biggest race of the year. It kicks off the season. So you're always working hard on that, but I don't think any more or less than any other season. There's a lot going on, and you have to focus on, not too much on this week, but not, don't skip over it either. There's a lot going on with all the open tracks coming up with the rules changes, the ride height and the aero stuff. So we've been working hard on a lot of stuff this winter, been doing a lot more testing. Everybody has, all organizations have more than normal because of all the rules changes and format changes. So, but I'd say the focus is the same as it was last year.
Let's go to Dwight Drum. We'll go to Dustin, and then to Dennis to my right.
Dwight Drum, racetake.com. Matt, probably what you guys do best is adjusting to all the different tracks, conditions, everything, and you adjusted extremely well to your new team. So did the rules changes, do you just kind of look like that as like another hurdle on the way?
Yeah, I think whenever there's a change, especially a rules change, you have to look at it as an opportunity, and you have to go, try to get a jump on that and try to get a jump better than the other organizations. So I think, like I say, I think you look at it. I know they do at JGR as an opportunity to get a hold of that and try to, figure it out, quickly and be on top of your game when you get to Phoenix and Vegas and California and Bristol, the first handful of tracks. I felt like they did a extremely good job of that last year with the Gen 6 car. I felt like we came out of the gate and we were really strong at every kind of racetrack to start the year off, and I felt like that was a good springboard for the rest of the season. So hopefully we can do that again.
Go to Dustin, and then to Dennis to my right.
Dustin Long, MRN.com. You mentioned earlier about the big runs in the tri-oval. Can you further just kind of explain what's so different that you're sensing now compared to last year? Is it just only in the tri-oval? And I guess the other question is why are you, why is this happening in that sense?
Yeah, I don't know that it's drastically different than last year. I mean, the spoiler was a little bigger, so you would think that you'd get a little bigger runs than what you would before, and you could stall other cars out more than you would before because they have more spoiler, you're piling more air on the blade and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, they did make a change, so it seems like it's a little bit different. Probably more so than we thought. I don't think a half-inch spoiler, most people probably didn't think you'd even tell the difference. But it seems to be a little different. Seems like you get a little bigger runs. I was surprised, I guess pleasantly surprised by the end of the shootout. I mean, there's hardly any cars out there, and or the unlimited, and they could still do some passing, and the racing was still good. It was amazing the runs you could still get. So I think overall it's going to be good for these 4 races. It seems like it's brought both lanes back a little bit instead of everybody just being stuck on the top. It seems like that bottom got working Saturday night. So I think it'll make better racing. I think the bigger runs you can get on people and the more passing you can do, you know, without having 4 or 5 other cars having to commit to make it happen, I think the better show it makes.
So how challenging is that protecting your position now?
You know, it's maybe, you know, a little bit different. You know, if they get a big run on you and you're out there by yourself, and you know, obviously the faster that they're getting a run at you, the less opportunity you have to block that, which I think is also good. I think that creates, you know, more passing and more action.
Over here to Dennis to the right.
Dennis Krause, Motorsports Minute. Matt, the winner of Sunday's race essentially qualifies for the chase, virtually. How does that change the dynamic for that driver for the rest of the year?
I wonder if they get the hat. Probably not.
No,
You don't get the hat yet?
not yet.
Okay. I don't know. I haven't spent a ton of time thinking about the chase in that part of the format, to be totally honest with you. I've been more focused on the rules changes with the ride height rules and aero changes and the qualifying changes and trying to get our arms around that stuff. The other part's a long ways away. I mean, hopefully we can run like we did last year, and hopefully we'll get a win and get one early. But then I don't think you really have to spend a ton of time focused on that until August or September, you know, if you're fortunate enough to be in. So certainly it seems really different than what it's ever been before. So, you know, I don't know until we get in that spot. Hopefully we'll be in that spot and spend a little time thinking about it. I don't really know what to think about it. But yeah, it's definitely a different dynamic for sure.
Any additional questions?
That's a no.
Jenna? Well, Jenna decided to come in, so she's got a question. Come on.
Hey, well, it is only 10 after 11.
That's true.
It's early.
Hello, Matt. Jennifer, AP. You had a really good year last year. Exceptional.
I already answered this question before you got here.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yes.
What's the
Pretty
rest of the
much.
question?
I'm just kidding. Carry on.
Are you sure?
Go ahead.
So how do you avoid the things that Carl went through and Denny went through, that second year drop off, that drought, and of not living up to the expectations set by the year before?
Yeah, I mean, I think every season is a little different. I'm not a huge believer in momentum in either direction, or curses or jinx or you did this, so you can't do that. I'm not really. I mean, I think every week's a different week. I think that whole group over there is really focused. I think they probably feel better going into this season than they felt. You know, I don't know about going into last season, but certainly I think with Denny being healthy and winning Homestead was a big deal, and him coming out and winning again another night. I mean, Denny's back, which is great, except for the fact that when he wins, it means that I can't. So I mean, that part stinks. But I mean, it's good that in all seriousness, it's good that he's back running good again. Kyle had one of the best careers best years he's ever had. We had a great year, so I feel good about it. I think we carry a lot of momentum into the off season. Everybody's working hard to try to get better, including me. I know I need to be better. So you know, I think it's a new year. What happened last year really doesn't matter once they drop the green on Sunday, and we're just gonna work hard and hopefully get the results again.
Where do you need to be better?
Man, I think there's a lot of areas. We could start with Saturday. I could probably know where I am before I make a move. So I don't know. I mean, I always think you look at stuff and try to get better. I think there's a lot of things that I could have done better last year. I think we did a lot of things good, but I think certainly personally, I think there's a lot of areas and places where I can improve, and working on that.
Over here, far left, Allison, Stan.
You're not that scary, Stan.
Sorry. Stan Creekmore with RPMTonight.com, and I wasn't going to ask this, but now you've mentioned Denny's name. How close are your setups? Because he obviously has looked extremely strong. So how close are your setups, and do you feel as comfortable with what you've got?
All the cars are relatively close, especially when you come to super speedways. There's not really a very big window of things that you're going to work on or really change as a setup. And Daytona is still, the pavement's pretty good, and especially like racing at night, handling is not going to be a big issue. It could be Sunday. I don't know what the weather forecast is. I haven't looked yet, but you know, if it's warm enough, it could be a little bit of an issue. But you know, Saturday night, I mean, you know, and tonight, I mean, everybody's setting up for speed more so than handling, you know, because the track's going to have a lot of grip.
Anybody else? Matt, thank you for coming in, and
Thank
good
you.
luck the rest of this weekend.